Arun Laxman. He is the director of Center for Policy and Development Studies. This is a think tank based out of Chennai and Thiruvananthapuram, focusing on social, economic, political, and strategic studies. He is a freelance journalist and was former Kerala resident editor of the Pioneer newspaper. He was officer on special duty to Minister of State for Law and Justice in Vajpayee government. He worked with the New Indian Express, Sea Voter, opinion poll agency, Rediff.com. Welcome, Mr. Arun Laxman. Mr. Arun Laxman, you have heard what Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, Dr. P.K. Ibrahim, and Dr. Mohanlal Agarwal has mentioned. And according to Dr. C.V. Anand Bose and Dr. P.K. Ibrahim, it will not make any difference whether the Democratic or Republican president will be elected in the US, because India's position is very strong, very firm, and they all know that India is such that they cannot avoid India now at all. But what Dr. Mohanlal Agarwal says, yes, Indian position is very strong. India can influence. Now, everything is there, but there will be a difference because the Democrat election, if he will be elected the president, he will have not that much soft corner or that much strong relationship with India as of the Trump. So these are the views which have been expressed by our earlier panelists. Now we would like to know from you, US election and Indo-American relation. Mr. Arun Laxman, please.
My respects to Dr. C. Anand Bose, Dr. P.K. Abraham, and Dr. Mohan Agarwal, all very towering personalities, having made across the viewpoints on the United States elections, which is happening on November 3rd. To start with, I feel that the Indian community, as Dr. Bose and Dr. Abraham have told, is an affluent community. Dr. Mohan Agarwal also, of course, is an affluent community, and the influence of the Indian community is mattering. And the Indian community is a very important community in the United States as far as education is concerned, as far as employable workforce is concerned, and as far as India is an emerging economy. So I read somewhere that the Indians have been given more respect after the Howdy Modi and the Namaste Trump function, and I do feel that there will be a difference. There will be a difference in the results of the United States elections. And I do also feel that, just like as Dr. Mohanlal Agarwal told, there will be the Biden will not be as warm as we have been expecting for the past 4 years in the Trump administration. And I think that the Democratic soft corner towards India will not be as much as the present president and the present Republican government is having towards India. One thing I can say, the recent political development in the Middle East of Trump has gone for with the Middle East countries and the Israel, UAE, Bahrain, and Sudan, as all these countries have now joined with with Israel, and that's making a major difference in the United States elections also, because the powerful Jewish community in the US is they're more of an influencer in American politics, and I feel that that community has given this movement of Trump or in the UAE, in the Middle Eastern politics, has given an advantage to the Republicans in the elections as far as the Jewish community is concerned. Second, the Jewish community, I think the influence of the Gujarati entrepreneur community and the Indian community is very hard in America. India has delivered, it seems. So I think that coming back to what Dr. Mohanlal Agarwal told, I think there will be a difference in the results of the American elections, and the Republican candidate, presently Donald Trump, if he is re-elected, he will be more warm and he continue with the policies towards India. And one more thing, with India is facing a very big threat in our border on the LAC with China, and the belligerent China has been coming towards India. They have come to try to dominate the geopolitics of our region. Especially, they are having relations with the Sri Lankan government, the Maldivian government, and the Bangladesh also. They're influencing and try to encircle our country. And we have a major solace with the Kuwait, America, Japan, Australia, that in the South China Sea. That will be a very important thing. And I think if the democratic president is coming to office, there will be a rework in the strategy, and there will be more of a Chinese engagement than what now the President Trump is doing for this country, or rather the Indian policy with the US at present. So there's a major feeling among the Indian community in the United States that the American presidential election will President Donald Trump will be more suited to Indian interest than the Democrats of Joe Biden. One more thing I can tell you: the running mate of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, is of Indian origin. Even though she is of Indian origin, her contention has always been that she's a black. That's a very interesting point, because she wants to send across the world a message to the world that she is a black, and that she is contesting as a woman, a black, and she is contesting elections on that card. And unfortunately, she has made some points which were not of that interest to our, not of our interest on Article 370 and the Kashmirian issue. So mainly, as Dr. Anandabose rightly said, 51% of the Indians are Democrats, or only 15% is voting for the Republicans. But however, there will be a major difference because of the personal equation that President Trump is having with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Howdy Modi and the Namaste Trump has given that to the American countrymen. And I think that rather than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, there will be a more of an interest for in Indians towards Donald Trump this election. Two things: one, the personal relationship between Narendra Modi and Donald Trump, and secondly, the coldness of the Democrats towards the Indian interest and the Indian diaspora. Indian diaspora, of course, Indian diaspora will be more is a very powerful workforce, a very powerful entrepreneur community, and all those things are there. Even then, I think the personal relationship as given will make a difference in the Indian voting pattern. And coming back to my point earlier, that strategic interest of India will be more affected by the Trump administration, because Trump has been showing more of interest in the Chinese issue rather than more than supporting India. Maybe it's because to put a break on the Chinese bandwagon, which is moving, trying to move unstoppable. That may be the reason why Trump is putting more of a support to India rather than the pro-Indian policy. It may be it's anti-China policy. Anyway, I think these two parts will affect the Indian voters or the Indian interest in the US election. Thank you.
According to Mr. Arun Laxman, he agrees with Dr. Mohan Lal Agrawal. He says yes, it will be a difference if either if the Democrat or Republican will win. That according to Mr. Arun Laxman, if Democrat will win, they will not be that much favorable India as Republican Mr. Donald Trump. And he has given the reason, but his foremost reason is that because of the personal relationship between Mr. Donald Trump and our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that is the main key factor in this, that if Republican wins, then India will have the same position what they were enjoying earlier, or rather better. But if Biden will come, and he has also mentioned about Kamala Harris, although she is originally from India because of her mother, but he says that she is not projecting herself as an Indian, and she has given some statements on 370 and Kashmir issues, which are unfortunate. And that's why we feel that according to Mr. Arun Laxman, according to him, if Republican will win, definitely it will be advantage India. Thank you very much, Mr. Arun Laxman, for giving your assessment.